All right, all right. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. What's going on, Facebook and YouTube world? What's happening, everybody? It's Shabaka. I'm in your health success coach. Happy Wednesday to you. I hope that you are definitely off to a great start. I'm on Eastern Standard Time. It's 1 p.m. and I'm streaming live out of North Carolina. So, welcome. For those of you who are joining me live, thank you for your attention and time. And I can tell you in advance, you're in for a treat, a knowledge treat that you can benefit from. For the past 23 years, I've been on a mission to help people pursue and achieve health success. That's been my life's work. And for 23 years, I've helped people pursue health success and also achieve metabolic health, which are really one and the same. As a personal trainer, as a meditation and mindfulness trainer on the corporate level, a lot of people may not know that I've done corporate meditation and mindfulness training, and a nutrition performance coach. I once owned a brick and mortar location, personal training studio, Body of Your Dreams, personal training, then rebranded in my last 2 years as Plant Fit Gym. I once ran those facilities for 12 years, had staff, two other personal trainers. Shout out to Muhammad Ba, Terry Leverett. And so it's been a great journey. But one of the things that I've had a passion for and a tremendous love for is a care for people. I don't like seeing people suffer. And of course, in America, so many people are suffering unnecessarily. So the real purpose of this live is to basically help people not have a tragic ending. You see, the topic is about weight loss, but it's really a topic about pursuing health success and achieving metabolic health, because when we as humans are overweight, it brings about so many other problems, so many other issues. And I'm not just talking about being overweight and obese from a cosmetic standpoint. I'm speaking about obesity and being overweight from the standpoint of a metabolic or indication of poor metabolic health. Poor metabolic health. Poor metabolic health leads to chronic diseases like cancer and type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's or dementia, which all the leading scientists are referring to Alzheimer's or dementia as type 3 diabetes. Polycystic ovary syndrome. A lot of women are now being diagnosed with PCOS, and African American women in particular have had a long medical history of being diagnosed with uterine fibroids or fibroid tumors. So there's so many reasons why, if you're overweight right now, you should definitely pursue weight loss, because it's pursuing weight loss with a higher purpose. And that higher purpose is so that you can achieve metabolic health. Now, the cosmetic benefits are a plus. Me being a personal trainer for 23 years, I understand why people hire me. People hire me because they, quote unquote, want to get fit, which is basically people wanting to increase their functional fitness levels, or the things that they can do with their body and not be limited and feel the limitations of being out of shape and overweight. But also, people want a body image that they admire. People want a body image that they can be proud of. And feeling proud about your body image, having a body image that you admire, is important for your emotional well-being. It's our body image, according to a lot of the psychologists, and just I don't even need the validation from the psychologists, but I know firsthand, 23 years working with mostly adults, women and men of all races, that there's a relationship between our self-image and our body image. There's a relationship between our perception of how we look and how we feel about the way we look and our self-image. So, from a cosmetic standpoint, weight loss has enormous benefits because it helps you feel good about how you look. But my talk today is about weight loss in light of achieving metabolic health. So, there are 5 reasons why, if you're overweight right now and you're pursuing weight loss, there are 5 reasons why you would definitely want to consider becoming a plant-based loser. And what I mean by becoming a plant-based loser is participating in the 21-day plant-based weight loss challenge. And I'm not saying that just because I created the program. I'm saying that because there's a reason why 109 people have enrolled in the Plant-Based Loser Challenge since March of 2019. I'm going to say that again. There's a reason why 109 individuals have enrolled, invested their money into the Plant-Based Loser Challenge. And I'm going to start off by showing you some testimonials. Number one reason why you should consider enrolling in the Plant-Based Loser Challenge or participating in the 21-day plant-based weight loss challenge is because it's been proven to work. It's been proven to work. Before I go into sharing the 5 reasons why I believe you should participate in this challenge, is because I'll go into that. But let me show you some testimonials. Number one reason why it works. It's proven to work. Okay. And I want to show you maybe 11 testimonials just so you can see what other people have been able to accomplish. And before I bring up those testimonials, just to really create the context for what I'm going to share, one of the most important reasons why weight loss is so important, and why, if you're overweight, it's important not to tolerate and remain overweight. Now, I can tell you firsthand, for the first time in my life, as early as 2014, I started accumulating body fat. And by 2017, that peaked to 218 pounds. Now, when I got in the personal training industry, I was 161 pounds. Now, I was 27 years of age, fall 1998, 161 pounds. And at my peak, in terms of the body image I wanted, having a certain level of muscle mass and symmetry and everything being in proportion, lower body, legs to the upper body, in terms of proportion, having the look I wanted, more muscle. I weighed like 190 something. And at some point, for various reasons, ultimately I always say food addiction has emotional reasons. There's the surface reason is we gain weight because mostly our eating practices, but the inner game reason has to do with, our beliefs, our attitudes, and our feelings, mostly our feelings, what's going on in our life at the time, whether we're in relationships that are healthy, supportive, or whether we're in relationships that are toxic. And so I had ballooned up to 218 pounds. I had excess fat around my abdominal area, which was dangerous. I was starting to feel tingling sensation in my fingertips. Yes, it was crazy. It was unbelievable. I remember bending over to tie my shoe for the first time in my life. You're talking about a guy since childhood, always muscular, always had a six pack, always super fit. But there was a few years where, even still training people, I got out of shape. I had excess fat around the belly. I went up to 218 pounds. I had inner thigh fat, abdominal belly fat, back fat. I remember even pinching the top of my head. I could feel fat on my head. It was crazy. So it's not, for me, it was not acceptable to remain that way. It was uncomfortable, especially, when you ask the question, who are you physically? And I asked myself, who am I physically? A question of physical identity. I said, I'm the guy that I see on my business card. And at some point, I really had to dive deep because I understood if I remained overweight, if I remained 218 pounds, I was going to have type 2 diabetes as a vegan. I was going to have high blood pressure. And I know for a fact, my blood pressure was elevated at that time. And I was probably borderline diabetic because I could feel tingling sensation in my fingertips. I noticed there was some blurred vision. Now, I did arrest and reverse that because I'm 190 pounds right now. But my point is, I can empathize with anybody who's overweight. Now, you might say, well, Shabaka, you weren't 50 pounds overweight. You weren't 100 pounds overweight or 75 pounds overweight. If you're 30 pounds overweight, it's enough to let you know this is not cool. This doesn't feel good. I remember not being as fast when I would exercise or run. I didn't have the same coordination and balance. It affects your breathing. It makes your breathing more labored. I was starting to experience things physically that I never, ever in my life ever experienced physically. Because being overweight creates limitations. It creates some discomfort. It creates an emotional discomfort because when you look in the mirror, or avoid looking in the mirror, but if you look in the mirror or if you are trying on clothes and you see a physical version that you're not pleased with, there's emotional ramifications. You don't feel good. It makes you shrink. It makes you kind of hide. You don't wear the same clothes anymore. I remember there's a period where I stopped wearing tank tops. I always wore a tank top in the summertime to showcase all my hard work. Anybody who's, very fit, you don't cover your body, you expose your body, because if you put in that time in the gym and you put in that time in the kitchen with those plant-based meals, you feel good about showcasing your body image versus hiding your body image. So all I'm saying is I know what it's like firsthand to be overweight. And I know what it's like to enjoy and admire the body image that you desire. I know what that's like. And most of my life has been about admiring the physical version that I currently see, or that I see, that I'm experiencing. So let me show you why being overweight is dangerous. Now, here's a quote from Dr. Joel Fuhrman. Dr. Joel Fuhrman is a physician. He's a medical doctor, and he's a New York Times bestselling author. And here's what he has to say about the condition of being overweight or obese. I'm going to remove this branding off the screen just so you can actually see the entire quote. It's important for you to see it. Okay. So this is from Dr. Joel Fuhrman. This is not just a cosmetic issue. Fat on the body is indicative of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer lurking within, if not now, then in a few years. So being overweight is not just a cosmetic issue. Being overweight is a prelude or precursor for other conditions, which I'm going to talk about. And I'll segue into the 5 reasons why, if you're overweight right now and you're seriously, sincerely pursuing weight loss, why you should definitely enroll into the Plant-Based Loser Challenge. So I'm going to bring my image back on screen. And so that quote I just shared on screen is Dr. Furman, without mentioning it, he's talking about the relationship between being overweight or having excess fat on the body and the various conditions and diseases, chronic diseases, that are inevitable, that are consequential once you become overweight. Now, how come it's so important to begin the process of weight loss? That's very simple, because in the medical literature, they know that when we have excess fat around the waistline, let me bring that up for you. I want to show you a graphic representation of what I'm talking about. Now, keep in mind, I have 23 years as a personal trainer, and a lot of people who come to me, as you can imagine, they all want 6-pack abs. Everybody wants 6-pack abs. So let's look at the abdominal region. So as you can see on the surface, the fat that we can visibly grab or touch is called subcutaneous fat, okay? Now, there's the abdominal muscle layer, which is actually, when people say, I want 6-pack abs, the abdominal muscle itself is structured as a 6-pack, so to speak. It has those 3 rows, where you can see a split in the center, and you can see this division where there's 3 rows, and you can see a split in the center, and you've got 1 row, you can see the 2 aspects of the muscle, middle row, lower, where that person visibly has a 6-pack. Now, on the inside, you have what's called visceral fat. Visceral fat. The fat on the inside. See at the bottom, it says visceral fat. That's behind the abdominal muscle layer. It's in and surrounding the organs. So if you're someone that has excess abdominal belly fat, that means you have fat behind the abdominal muscle layer. We're not talking about subcutaneous fat, which is at the surface. It's the fat that you can grab that is right up underneath the skin. That's subcutaneous fat. Visceral fat is the fat that's really dangerous. That's the fat that causes problems, and I'm going to discuss some of those problems as the 5 reasons why you should participate in the Plant-Based Loser Challenge. Now, so in medical literature, there is something called metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome. And I'm going to read to you what metabolic syndrome is so that you can actually understand the relationship between metabolic syndrome. Let me pull this up real quick. I want to show you something just to reiterate. I want to make sure you're clear on what subcutaneous fat is. Here's subcutaneous fat, the definition. Subcutaneous fat is directly under the skin, which is what I mentioned. It's fat you can pinch. Whereas there's another type of fat called visceral fat. That's the kind of fat that is under your abdominal wall, as I mentioned. It surrounds your internal organs, engulfing your liver, intestines, kidney, pancreas, and heart with fat. So visceral fat, if you can look down at your abdomen and see your abdomen protruding as like a small ball, medium-sized ball, or big ball, if you see belly fat, if you see a belly of fat, you have not only subcutaneous belly fat, you have visceral fat. And that is the fat that surrounds your internal organs. Now, why is visceral fat so dangerous? I'm going to tell you why in a few seconds. Visceral belly fat, you right now, if you have excess fat around the belly that's visible, that's noticeable, that protrudes, you have subcutaneous fat and visceral belly fat. Visceral fat is the type of fat that puts you at risk for a number of conditions, which are referred to as metabolic risk factors. So what I'm going to do now is basically go into the 5 reasons why it's important for those who are overweight and pursuing weight loss to actually be about it. There's 5 reasons why we should get rid of fat before fat gets rid of you. If you're overweight right now, or if you know someone who's overweight, especially someone who has excess abdominal belly fat, if you're a woman or a man, this is not a cosmetic issue. Fat around the belly is a precursor for other conditions. I'm going to now discuss and share knowledge about what excess abdominal belly fat does and how it can harm you, if not now, in the very near future. So let me pull up some information so that you can understand what you're dealing with. And again, this presentation is for people who are overweight and pursuing to lose weight, pursuing weight loss. So let me find what I'm looking for now. So in medicine, there is something called metabolic syndrome. What is metabolic syndrome? Metabolic syndrome is a clustering of at least 3 of the 5 following medical conditions. So the first medical condition is central obesity or excess belly fat, which I've been describing for the past 3 to 5 minutes. If you currently have excess abdominal belly fat, you have one of the conditions that constitutes or lays the foundation for metabolic syndrome. Now, metabolic syndrome is a cluster of at least 3 of these 5 conditions. One condition is central obesity. Question is, do you have excess abdominal belly fat right now? Yes or no? Do you have high blood pressure right now? Or are you borderline hypertensive? Or do you have elevated blood pressure to the point where you're borderline? If you do, you have one of the metabolic risk factors. The first metabolic risk factor is excess fat around the waist. Second metabolic risk factor is high blood pressure. The third metabolic risk factor, when they do blood work, when you go in for a checkup and they do blood work, they look at what's called your A1C. A1C is a measure of fasting blood glucose. So if you have elevated blood glucose or elevated blood sugar, it creates insulin resistance. Metabolic risk factor number 4, abnormal cholesterol levels. In other words, high LDL. L usually is referred to in medicine as lousy cholesterol. HDL, that type of cholesterol, is the healthy cholesterol. Do you have abnormal cholesterol levels? Is your LDL high or elevated? Has your HDL cholesterol been lowered. Metabolic risk factor number 5, high blood serum triglycerides. Are your triglyceride levels, your total blood serum triglycerides elevated? Yes or no? So, do you have at least 3 of these metabolic risk factors? Now, in modern medicine, they say out of the 5 listed metabolic risk factors, if you have 3, see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have at least 3 of these conditions, you have metabolic syndrome right now. Now, if you have metabolic syndrome right now, if you have at least 3 or more of those metabolic risk factors, elevated, high, excess fat around the belly or waist, elevated blood pressure, abnormal cholesterol, which is indicated by elevated LDL and lowered HDL, elevated triglycerides, elevated blood sugar. If you have at least 3 out of the 5, you have what's called metabolic syndrome. It also means that you're in poor metabolic health. Now, here's my position. They say 3. I believe if you have at least 2, and if you have excess fat around the waist right now, it does not mean, don't assume that other metabolic risk factors will not ensue or follow. They do. Having excess fat around the belly is a precursor condition to other metabolic risk factors. Now, if you have these metabolic risk factors, if you have at least 3 or more, what can that bring about is the question. What can that bring about? What tragic ending can that bring about? Well, in medical science, it's known, it's been proven that if you have these metabolic risk factors that I just named and went over, let me bring it back on screen just so you can see it, not just hear it. If you have any of these metabolic risk factors, it opens the way for other situations. I'm going to read something to you. Metabolic syndrome is associated with the risk of developing cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes. In the US, about a quarter of the adult population has metabolic syndrome. 1/4 of the US adult population has metabolic syndrome. That's millions and millions of people. And the prevalence increases with age, with racial and ethnic minorities being particularly affected. I'll add more to it. And this is, my sources are the Mayo Clinic, my sources are the NIH, National Institutes of Health, as well as CDC, Centers for Disease Control. So that's where this information is being sourced from. Now listen to this. This is so important. We're still talking about metabolic syndrome. The key sign of metabolic syndrome is central obesity, also known as visceral adiposity. It is characterized by adipose tissue accumulation predominantly around the waist and trunk. Here are some associated conditions that are linked or happen as a result of central obesity, excess fat around the belly. One condition, hyperuricemia, fatty liver, especially in concurrent obesity, progressing to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS in women, erectile dysfunction in men, and let me see if I can pronounce this correctly, acanthosis nigricans. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. However, in other words, the key sign of metabolic syndrome is central obesity. If you have excess abdominal belly fat, it puts you at risk for these conditions. And just to add to that, they also know in medical science that if you have excess fat around the belly, it puts you at risk for not only heart disease, as I mentioned, but also cancer. And of course, I mentioned type 2 diabetes. Again, my sources are the Mayo Clinic, National Institutes of Health, Centers for Disease Control, and more. All medical science. This is what they found. It's not my opinion. I'm just someone who does research, someone who cares, someone who is focused on pursuing health success daily and achieving metabolic health. And for 23 years, I've been focused on helping people, my customers, achieve the same for themselves. So the real getting in shape really is all about achieving metabolic health. You can work out all you want. You can do cardio and have health failure habits that cause heart disease. Again, I'm going to say it again. You can do cardio and have health failure habits such as the way you eat, and it causes heart disease. So let's see if I can pull up some testimonials and show you what others have achieved as Plant-Based Loser Challenge customers. There is good news, folks. There is definitely good news, and I want to show you what other people have been able to accomplish in this remarkable program. Again, I wanted to show you there are 109 people who have enrolled in the Plant-Based Loser Challenge since March 2019. As you can see, 109 members that are part of the Plant-Based Loser community. It's remarkable. I'm going to show you some testimonials and share a little bit more knowledge and information because understanding is key. And I want to make sure you understand, why being overweight is an issue. And I did explain that thoroughly. It ties itself to metabolic syndrome. But one of the number one obstacles that makes it difficult to lose weight loss is actually easy. Let me say that. Weight loss is easy. Now, that might sound, like a ridiculous statement to make. It's not. Losing weight is easy. Weight loss is actually easy. It's not as difficult as people say it is and make it out to be. Our bodies can burn fat as easily as they can store fat. Whether your body is storing fat or burning fat depends on the conditions you create by your habits. Okay? So I'm going to find some testimonials that I can pull up and show you so you can see and witness what other people have done. So here is one gentleman, Matthew, that I had the great opportunity to work with for approximately a year. And, okay, here we go. I helped this teenager go from 270 pounds to 168 pounds. I helped him actually lose 102 pounds. He was a teenager at the time, and I had the opportunity to work with him for approximately a year, maybe less, actually more or less. I coached him for about a year and worked with him one-on-one through nutrition performance coaching, and he was in my boot camp for a few months. But he started out at 270 pounds, and I helped him lose 102 pounds And let me see if I can, I want to show you something else so he lost 102 pounds. I want to show you. Okay, now look at this picture. This is when Matthew was 207 pounds. Now look at his face. You can tell he was obese and he's tall. You can see two other people. I tried to get them out of the shot by enlarging the picture because I wanted to zoom in on Matthew so you could see when he first started working with me, he was 270 pounds. And in this picture, he's like, I forgot his height. He's over 6 feet. He was a teenager. I think he was like 16 at the time, 15 or 16. You could see it in his face. At the time, Matthew was obese. Here, he looks like a ball player. And, we took this picture together because it was important to capture the after. You can see how lean his face is. And in this photo, I'm thinking he weighs less than what I do at the time. And so, weight loss is actually easy once you get support. It's important to get support. You need a system. You need a people system, social support system. You need an eating system. Matthew was able to benefit from the eating system I developed. It's called the Plant-Based Metabolic Weight Loss Plan. If you're interested, just reach out to me. I'll be glad to share it with you as a member of the Plant-Based Loser community. So here's another customer by the name of Kaya Bay. And you can see Kaya lost 18 pounds in 21 days, as you can read, as you can see. 18 pounds in 21 days. Yes. But she didn't stop at 18 pounds. She actually did the 21-day plant-based weight loss challenge twice. 21 plus 21 is 42 days total. Guess how much she lost in 42 days? Guess how much she lost? Well, you don't have to guess. I'm going to show you. Kaya Bay lost, and I'm hoping that I added this slide. And this is coming from Instagram. This is public. These testimonials are publicly displayed on Instagram. I want to show you after 42 days what she accomplished. So as you can see, she had lost a total of 46 pounds in 42 days. Kaya Bay lost 46 pounds in 42 days. Isn't that remarkable? So you can benefit and lose weight easily once you enroll in the Plant-Based Loser Challenge. These people are not anomalies. Anybody I've ever worked with who has committed to the Plant-Based Loser Challenge has done very, very well. Now, let me show you some more testimonials. So you just saw Kaya Bay. She lost 46 pounds in 42 days. Her husband participated in the challenge with her. And her husband's name is Hakum. Hakum lost 20 pounds in 21 days. And they're both in their 50s, by the way. At the time, I think Kaya was like 52 or 53, and Hakum was somewhere around that age as well, 53. They both were in their 50s, and they did extraordinarily well. He lost 20 pounds in 21 days. Let me show you another testimonial. I work with Gloria Barino, and her all-time high, last time I checked, was 30 pounds of weight loss. 30-pound weight loss. And this gentleman here, Dr. Ali Johnson, he's a professor at Wayne State University. He's a professor at Wayne State University. Dr. Ali Johnson lost 24 pounds in 21 days. Yes, 24 pounds in 21 days. Again, you can find these weight loss testimonials on Instagram If you go to and search for Plant-Based Loser Challenge, if you look at the very top, you'll see Plant-Based Loser Challenge on Instagram. Now, let me show you some more testimonials. This gentleman, Desmond Hines, lost 20 pounds participating in the 21-day plant-based weight loss challenge at age 51. 20 pounds in 21 days at age 51. Weight loss is easy. Y2 squared, Yolanda Belser, lost 10 pounds. Actually, she lost more, but this was like me posting her weight loss progress so far. But she had lost 10 pounds at some point in the 21-day plant-based weight loss challenge. Shout out to Yolanda Belser doing big things, her and her husband Tone X. So I've worked with so many people. Let me show you some more testimonials. Oh, here's Yolanda giving me some kudos, thanking me on Instagram. As you can see, she wrote, Shabaka, Amin, you're the best. 100. Thank you. And so people, hey, when people know you care and people know that you've given them something of value, a lot of people like to shout you out and show you love because, yes, I do care. And I've been blessed to create something that's really making a difference in people's lives. This is one of her artists. Yolanda has artists that she manages. This guy is an artist. He's a performer. He's a go-go artist or singer, an entertainer named King Lee. He lost 20 pounds in 10 days. Yes, I said it. King Lee lost 20 pounds in 10 days. So I wanted to show you some testimonials. I'm going to show you a few more and then wrap up. Diane is out of Minneapolis. And I have a guy who enrolled out of India. This is an international program, the Plant-Based Loser Challenge. It doesn't matter where you live. Wherever you live, if you have an internet connection, a mobile phone or a computer or both, you can participate in the Plant-Based Loser Challenge. Diane lives in Minnesota. She lost 19 pounds in 21 days. Again, you will see these testimonials on Instagram, on the Plant-Based Loser Challenge page on Instagram. Okay, so I wanted to show you a variety of testimonials. If you have any comments, feel free to leave your comment. If you are interested in participating in the 21-day plant-based weight loss challenge, all you have to do is go to PlantBasedLoserChallenge.com, PlantBasedLoserChallenge.com, as you can see scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And right now, I have an amazing discount available for you. Get $150 off, which you can use for groceries by Friday, July 9th. $150 off the enrollment price. One-time enrollment, and you can become a permanent member of the Plant-Based Loser Challenge this week. No annual fee, no monthly fee. One-time payment, $150 off. Get in where you fit in. Lose weight. Let's get in shape. And the beautiful thing about the Plant-Based Loser Challenge and benefiting from the Plant-Based Metabolic Weight Loss Plan is that I don't even have to train you. It's not a fitness program. You are going to benefit from my plant-based metabolic weight loss plan. So a lot of my customers who participate, some exercise, some don't. They're not getting the results because of exercise. Many of them were exercising before they participated in the 21-day plant-based weight loss challenge, and they were in weight loss resistance, meaning they were unable to lose weight, even though they were overweight and exercising on a regular basis. It doesn't matter whether you exercise or not. I mean, it matters. You should exercise, but this challenge is not a fitness challenge, is my point. If you're overweight and you're pursuing weight loss, you will do very, very well in this challenge. Let me bring up just a few more testimonials so that you can actually see a few more faces. And I always like to show the proof of what I offer. Here's the value. DD Love lost 18 pounds in 21 days. 18 pounds in 21 days. Again, you can find these testimonials on Instagram, the PlantBased Loser Challenge page on Instagram. Here is Dr. Rosalind Lang. Dr. Rosalind Lang is a biologist. She's a professor who is tenured. I helped her lose 17 pounds in 21 days. Dr. Rosalind Lang, 17 pounds in 21 days. It's your time. It's your time. It's time to get rid of fat before fat gets rid of you. Let's see if I have some more testimonials to show you. I have unlimited testimonials. On Instagram, you'll find over 50 weight loss testimonials. I did not make a mistake. Over 50 weight loss testimonials. Deanna Curitan lost 15 pounds in 21 days. 15 pounds in 21 days. So, as you can see, weight loss is easy as a plant-based loser. Raquel Gary lost 15 pounds in 21 days. And I think I have, can't forget about Ricardo Nicholas. Ricardo Nicholas lost 26 pounds in 21 days. Again, these are customers that I am not training. Plant-Based Loser Challenge is a 21-day plant-based weight loss challenge, not a fitness challenge. So, if you're a guy who's overweight or obese and you need or want to drop 26 pounds in 21 days, and as you can see, current total, he had dropped 27 pounds, reach out, leave a comment underneath this video, and go ahead and get $150 off. You can use that $150 off, that $150 for groceries. This is where you go. Yes, it is easy to lose weight as a plant-based loser. Go to Plant-Based Loser Challenge. Get rid of fat before fat gets rid of you. I appreciate your time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I believe we can't leave out Lee Berry, who lost 23 pounds using my plant-based metabolic weight loss plan. So many testimonials. Weight loss is easy when you're a plant-based loser. If you have any questions or any comments, leave them beneath this video. I wanted to share those testimonials to inspire you to pursue health success, lose weight, and achieve metabolic health. You can get free from food slavery. You can get free from food addiction. All of my customers who participate in the 21-day plant-based loser challenge tell me, Shabaka, I cannot believe the fact that I no longer have cravings for sugary, salty, and fatty processed foods. It frees you from food addiction. Food addiction is the number one obstacle that's preventing you from losing weight. On my plant-based metabolic weight loss plan, you get free from addictive cravings. Take care, folks. I've got to wrap up. Time to go to the gym. You are worthy and deserving of weight loss. You are worthy and deserving of health success. Your happiness depends on it. Take care. God bless. And become a plant-based loser. Come on. 21 days. I look forward to coaching you. Let's save $150. Go ahead and enroll right now. You know where to go to enroll. Let's do this. I got your back. I love and care for you. Weight loss is easy. It's time for you to become a plant-based loser. Take care. See ya. See you soon.